What's up? What's up? What's up to everybody out there, all the Twitch followers? How's it going? I'm sure you guys are blowing up the line right now. Very excited about today. This guy is definitely one of my huge influences from when I was younger into like getting me into the martial arts and stuff. So we will touch on that a little bit. Any Fantastic Duo news we need to cover? Anything like that at the moment?
Yeah, man. We're gonna be doing some. Well, besides the giveaways,
today's the grand prize
the
day.
grand prize giveaway.
We're
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
the grand prize giveaway today, guys, with all kinds of crazy goodies. Some like a book from Boom Studios, and we've got what else? Like a Brad Hawkins autograph.
We got a Brad
picture,
Hawkins autograph picture. We got a Jason Font T-shirt. Yeah.
JDF signature as well too. So some cool stuff that we're going to be giving away today, and we'll make that announcement a little bit later on in the show. But for now, okay, I think it's time that we bring one of my good friends. I first met this guy in 2013, and he must have thought I was a freak because I I fangirled on him so hard, man. But anyway, man, ever since then, man, he's been a good friend of mine. I mean, this is a guy, he's actually even been to my house before and hung out. So this is how much I respect and appreciate this man. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Taimak, the Last Dragon himself. Let's give him a welcome. Yeah! Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
How you doing, fellas?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, well, listen, man, we really appreciate you coming on. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to like tell this story or not because it's like a little personal, but I figured, hey, this is our lives that we talk about and stuff. So I'm gonna get a little personal. Alex, I don't even think Taimak really even knows this story or how much of an influence and how much he meant to me as a kid growing up. But when I was younger, grew up in a single parent home, and my mom worked 3 jobs. So when you're living in a small town and you have no supervision, I'm literally just like running the streets. I mean, I'm running the streets, and there's nobody to tell me what time I need to come home or anything like that. And when you're young and you're just running the streets and stuff like that, this is when I'm 10, 11 years old, I tended to get into a lot of trouble, and I was pretty much a bad kid. So I was always getting in fights a lot because I was getting bullied a lot. But one of the things that happened was I ended up getting in some trouble, and I had to go into juvenile hall. And from juvie, they sent me into a boys' home for a while. And this is where it was like really bad because there was a bunch of other like troubled kids, that were living there too. And basically I was getting like terrorized on a daily basis. But one interesting thing that was there was like a little den they had there in the boys' home. They had a VCR and a TV, and there were 2 tapes that were there. I mean, there was a bunch of different movies there, but there were 2 tapes that I watched all the time. One of them was The Karate Kid, and the other one was The Last Dragon. And I used to watch this movie, and like with all the torment that was going on around me during that time that I was living in that boys' home and getting like tortured all the time, I used to watch his movie, and I used to watch it daily. I would watch The Karate Kid and I would watch The Last Dragon, and I would pretty much watch them like every single day. And it's just something that like gave me comfort, and it gave me an escape, and it gave me like the motivation that I needed to like know that I wanted to become a martial artist, and I wanted to be like these characters that I was seeing in the movie because I related to them so much, because when you think about it, these characters were kind of loners, you know what I mean? The rest of society looked at them a little bit weird, and the rest of society kind of picked on them a bit, and they had to overcome that. And this is something that I related to because it was a struggle that I had in my youth big time. And then once I finally got into martial arts, life turned around big time for me as a result of that. But Taimak, this is, why I have such a special place in my heart for you, is because you got me through some really hard times, man. And when I say that, it really did. Yeah. So thank you for that. And I, even though we've been friends for a long time, I never really actually conveyed that story to you that I recall anyway. I didn't want to sound like too much of a fan when I sit there and say, hey, listen, you really don't know how much you mean to me.
It's interesting. I've heard similar stories because, I was bullied a lot as a kid. So
sure.
I guess it resonated with, a lot of people are bullied, and a lot of young boys are bullied by bigger boys, and then they end up either in martial arts or something,
Yeah.
It's
right.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, is that kind of how it happened for you? You know, because I mean, you're a phenomenal martial artist, and by the time that you were on, The Last Dragon, what you were what must have been about 19 or 20
19,
years,
yeah,
yeah, 19
19.
years old. Wow,
Yeah, no,
phenomenal.
my father was picked on as a kid, so he put me and my brother in martial arts, and his father knew some boxing, so we were doing that when we were young. It's my brother didn't take to it, I guess, because he was whipping my butt, so I had more incentive.
Yeah,
So
you had, yeah,
I
exactly.
stuck with it until I kicked his ass when I was 15. So
Oh,
he
nice,
never
man.
picked on me anymore.
Never picked on you anymore.
Um,
See, that's what I'm talking about. That was the thing.
yeah,
You carry yourself differently, and you get this confidence, that you didn't
yeah, I
have
was
before.
really shy because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you grew up in New York, right? Yeah.
Mostly New
Okay.
York and Europe. I lived in Europe, in Italy and London. Always just saw this when I
Wow.
was a young lad.
Right, right, and right because you come from like a blended, like a mixed
My
background, right?
father's Italian, my mother's black.
Right,
Yeah.
Italian and black, and so you did spend some time in Europe, and then you got started in the martial arts when you came to New York.
No, when we were kids, my father's best friend was Gerald Darngent. He was a competitor, and he was my father's best
Oh, okay,
friend.
cool. I think we might
And
have lost him for
we
a second.
started with kids, and then we stopped and then started again later. You
Oh,
lost me?
okay. Yeah, I think so. But I think you're back now, though.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
that's okay. That's okay. I think we definitely
Oh,
got it, though, man.
yeah.
Anyways, I just think that's phenomenal, man. And it seems to be a similar story that I get from a lot of like martial artists is that they get into it because of,
brain
you
damage.
know.
They need help.
Yeah. So maybe that can just bring us into the next part of it. How did you come to get into this movie? How did you come to meet Barry Gordy? How did you come to get involved in this whole entire thing? And I guess, did you know that it was going to be what it has become, or did you have a feeling that it would in any way?
Yeah, so I was competing in martial arts till I was like 13, and back then they had karate, judo, taekwondo competitions.
Right.
Um, so I was involved with all that kind of stuff, and then wrestling in high school. Um, and it was a time where I was going out to parties and clubs because of teenagers, 17, 18. My boys were wanting to have a good time, and New York City was like the biggest as
Of
far as that's
course, it
concerned.
was the mecca for like
Studio
the
54, all these
clubs.
places,
Yeah.
back in the 80s. And we were just having a great time. But I knew I needed to do something with my life. I was 18. I
Yeah.
won a kickboxing title here in New York. I knocked the guy out in the first round.
Wow.
Nice.
I didn't. I was nervous as hell because I wasn't. He seemed like he had a lot of money behind him or something. He had all this robe and he had all his
Right.
entourage, and I just
All
came
of
with
his
my trainer, the
accoutrements were
cut man.
intimidating.
Yeah. I came with the trainer, the cut man, and as he's walking in with the music, I was like, oh God, this guy's a ringer.
Yeah.
But I got him. But anyway, yeah. This ended up happening because everybody in the mother, it's like they didn't have any films with young guys of color as leading characters, Black, Latino.
Yeah,
Was
they really didn't.
if they were, it was like secondary characters like Rocky, Apollo Creed, um, or they just didn't have anything. And this was many years because they kind of NAACP didn't like the images that these
Like the
Jim Brown
like the black exploitation
yeah,
movies and
yeah, they
stuff.
were all
Yeah.
pimps and junk,
Yeah.
and it was too violent. So there was a long time, like all into the '80s, where you didn't see any guys. So Barry Gordy found this script by Louis um, Venosta, a Puerto Rican guy actually from New York, who wrote this script,
Okay.
and he Louis Venosa wrote it. Was inspired by his girlfriend. While they were, it was written pretty quickly. He said. Anyway, so Gordy got the script, found a big director at the time, Michael Schultz, who directed a bunch of big movies, and then they started looking to see who's going to put lead character. I actually chose Vanity because she was hot and she was charismatic, and we had a little spark, you know.
Right.
And
Okay. So you had involvement in the casting process, but how did
Wow.
you?
after I was
How
cast,
did you first get cast? How did that come about?
right? Yeah. Well, it's a long story. I'm gonna try and be the
Hey, we got nothing
shortest.
but time, man.
Yeah,
Please,
man, give
man.
it to
Yeah,
us.
We're
I
all
know,
ears
but I
about
told
hearing
it
this
too
story.
many times. It's probably on the internet. It's all over the place. Probably. No, but what happened was I was very insecure, and my best friend was a big jokester, and we, you know, when everybody's going up on it, you just imagine you got everybody wanted the role, you know.
Sure.
You know, it's like if you got a Mexican superhero like Cardenas or something, you know, and you know, they never had one before, and then all of a sudden every Mexican is going to be going up for it, right, in America. So I was nervous and saying, oh my God. So I tried to audition. I put my gi. I thought it was going to be like katas and all this stuff. When I got there, it was just acting, and I never did anything but school plays here and there. I
Right.
wasn't a professional actor, and I didn't have any experience. So what happened was there were actors there with the scripts in their hand outside the casting office, and I never did anything like a cold reading or anything like that. So I felt like a fish out of water.
Sure.
And when I went in there, and I did horrible. And the cast director said, "Look, you look the part, but you know you got to work on this." And I was brokenhearted because I really didn't. I was, you know, didn't expect it. So at that time, my father was doing something in Florida. He had some. He was selling females accessories and bags, and he was very
Right.
creative. My father was an artist, and he called me up. And he said, "Taimak, get Richie." That was my best friend, and he goes, one of them, and he goes, and this is it was cold in New York. And he goes, "We're going to drive down to Florida, and you're going to clean roofs while I go out to these stores." And me and my friend were like, "Yeah." So I was still upset from this because I put my heart into this, possibly getting this role as a dream,
Right.
as I always dreamed of being like Bruce Lee, and everybody did,
Sure.
because there was nobody like him, you know. So we're driving all the way down there, and my friend was in the middle of the van, in the front, and I was on the right of my friend, and my father was driving. And he goes, my father's like this tough Italian guy. And he goes like, "Hey, Taimak, give me that. Take out those. You still got that script?" And there were pieces of script, and I still had it in my bag.
Yeah.
And he goes, take it out. What's the matter with you?" And I didn't want to do it because I knew how he was. And my friend was he never seen this type of behavior before.
Right.
You know, so I didn't want to do it. He said, "No, come on, let's go. You know, I know I've done this before. I know some actor friends, and I played around with it." So I go, "Okay." So I started. He goes, "No, what are you doing? Don't you understand? He's not like that." And because I really didn't know what the hell the character was like. I did
Right. Okay.
you know, I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know what the word contractions mean. I
Right.
do not. I will not.
Right.
It's not wouldn't or could not.
Yeah.
Right, right.
They wanted me to speak like this Asian monk.
Right. Okay.
So I
Okay.
didn't get that because I didn't. When I looked at the script, I wasn't like getting it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't directed. He just was a cold reading. So I had a horrible time all the way driving to Florida where my father coached me and whacking me in
So your dad was like
head.
actually giving you insight on like how you should play this character. Right. Okay. That's cool. That's
So
interesting.
when we got there, I didn't want the part anymore. By the time we got there, I was like so pissed off with my father. I got out of the car and my friend said, "Hey man, you all right?" And I said, No, fuck this role.
Right. Right.
And then my friend was like, "Look, if there's a God on earth, that role was written for you." And in a way, I knew that. It's just that he told me that, and then I kind of, there was like a little sparkle going on in my eye and feeling that I think you're right about that. But anyway, we just had a great time, me and him. Cleaning the roofs, goofing around, playing around with the role.
So
By
how
the
long were
time-
you in Florida? Like how long
I
were
think
you
it was
in?
about a month. And then we came back, and I said, "Look, I'm going to go and try out again." And when I knocked on the door, the guy said, I'm sorry, they already cast someone. And I went, oh
Oh
no,
man.
man.
Oh man.
I said, please, man, can I just do it one more? And the guy looked at me like, just to get rid of me, he let me do it again.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, he really did it. You could see in his face, he was done with it. He probably was burnt out from casting people.
Sure, sure.
And he let me in there, and he was reading the papers while reading the role that I was reading with him. But at the same time, he's fixing his office up like he's like, just let me get this guy out of here.
Right.
And
So he's
then,
like he's half invested, half invested.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
cleaning. He's like, okay, good. And he's fixing it. Let me get this guy out of here. And then in the first 10 seconds, he knew something was different.
Right. Okay.
And he said, keep reading. Because I was like, I thought he paused for a second. And he said, okay, wait. Okay. So then he called the office, and I had no idea, but they didn't actually sign the guy, and they fired the guy within years.
Wow.
So, and did they know about your martial arts at all? Did they see any of that side of it, or was it at first
They
just the
wanted to see
reading?
the acting because they wanted to know someone could pull off the act.
Sure. Okay.
And then they already knew I was a martial artist.
Okay, so they already knew that you were a martial artist, but did you get to show them any of that?
That's what I'm saying. They weren't interested. I was surprised. That's why. Yeah. And then because that wasn't the thing. The thing was, could he play this character?
Right. Yeah.
Gordy and all these guys were into the acting, and they wanted to make sure somebody could pull it off, because this character, if he just great martial arts, it wouldn't be the thing. Because I was planning on doing all kinds of stuff, And they were like, no, we're not. I was like doing spinning heel kicks, landing in splits, jumping up. They didn't want to see any of that shit.
Well, I find it interesting.
Yeah, I was a big martial arts film buff. I was as a kid, I was watching all the movies and everything. So it was a whole. That was my thing. That's what I wanted to do.
Right. Well, I mean, I can see their side about how they want someone who's going to be the lead, and it's going to essentially be in every single scene and going to carry the entire film. It makes sense, if they're going to make that investment like that. But I would think that they'd want to see the martial arts too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
What a bonus for them.
They were not martial artists. They
Right.
were not martial artists.
Yeah.
That thing, Barry Gordy was an entertaining guy. Michael Schultz was a big director.
Yeah, Barry Gordy was the big man at Motown, the Motown Records.
Yeah, music.
Yeah, he was a music mogul, and he decided to kind of like throw his hat in the
Michael
ring.
Jackson.
Right.
Stevie
Yeah, exactly.
Wonder,
all of those big names.
He made all those names. Yeah.
Right. He made all of
Diana
those names
Ross,
famous,
Marvin
and then he decided
Gaye.
to throw his hat into the ring and do a movie.
Well, he was doing stuff with Diana Ross before, but not as him as the main producer.
Right. Okay. Wow, that's so cool, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is
So
crazy.
when he met me, he hired me. Barry Gordy flew into town. They got rid of the other guy. They had me rehearse a bit because Barry Gordy was coming into town. He was from LA. He came in with an entourage with an Asian woman with hair touching the floor. Let's go. I was like, these people come right out of a comic book.
That's so great.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like it was. I mean, I feel like it was like the perfect like combination. You know what I mean? Because there was like an innocence about you in that movie. And I didn't know if that was an actual innocence or if that was something that was kind of brought. I mean, I would imagine that part of it was. Yeah, I mean, because you were thrown into a world that you hadn't been a part of before.
Yeah, I always had this innocence, but I grew up in the streets, but I always had this innocence, and I was very gullible. I didn't get rid of that years later.
Yeah. But you had that same thing. It was like, okay, cool, don't mistake my kindness for weakness though. Because man, you were badass in that movie, man. There was so much cool stuff in that.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I could literally go into like all the stuff, because I was even like this morning, just so I could post up stories to tell people that you're coming on the show and stuff. I rewatched the movie again, probably for the millionth time for sure. And I'm I'm commentary.
I'm maybe doing something together. Maybe.
Well, that would be great at some point. I would love to do that. But I'm just like sitting there and just admiring the old school Taimak when his master is firing the arrows at him, and he's just like without even looking, going whack, and just chopping those things in half. So how did he do that? Because I couldn't imagine.
They shot it through a shoot, so they had like a what was it, about yard long. It was
Okay.
wood because it had to be really accurate.
It had to be
obvious,
precise, yeah.
but it was not heavy wood. That was the reason why I could do it, because if it was heavy wood, then there would be no movie.
Right. They would just fall
Because I
to the
make
ground
one
if you
mistake.
hit it. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I just positioned myself in the same spot, and when it came, I just, I was good at it. I got it.
Yeah. It was genius though, man. It looks so cool, man.
And people in the chat, because we have a chat going on as well.
The chat's interactive here, so people are people are live. People are talking and chatting on the side wall while we're doing this whole thing. So Alex has the questions. No, you can't see it, but that's okay. Alex is gonna say some of the questions that they're throwing out.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
one of the things that people were talking about on there was definitely you catching these arrows and how amazing that was. And I'm like going back and forth with them. Like, yeah, like, so I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was one of the questions, was like, how was that mastered, So, but you're getting a ton of love on the chat room, by the way. You got a ton of people who've watched the movie.
I love you guys, and I love all you guys.
Yeah,
it's a love time. It's a time for love.
It really is, man, because they're
a
like
massive cult classic too. You know what I mean? I mean, it's so much ingrained. People always think, people have probably heard of Bruce Leroy, even if they didn't know what the movie The Last Dragon is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was upset because, Karate Kid got all that acknowledgement, and I was like, I can kick that guy's ass. I was a kid. I was fighting. I was like, this guy's not even a martial arts.
Right.
But I knew that the story. Even I liked the movie.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean,
I liked it, but I was like, at the same time, I was like, I'm not getting no love. Until eventually they played it on HBO, but in the movie theaters they pulled it right off. We went up to number 2 in the country, and they pulled it right off.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's
insane.
They yanked it right out the movie theater and gave it all to the crowd.
Well, they're repeating lines, Motown baby, they're over here saying who's the master, they're going insane, which means it's pretty cool, man. And
dude, it's like it literally is. It's ingrained into society.
It's 35 years, Steve.
35 years, man. That's crazy, man. I can't even. I mean, I freak out on the fact that Power Rangers was 25 years ago, and Last Dragon was like, but it's just the amount of things that happened to me in those 10 years, just in both of our lives, I would imagine, it's just incredible. But yeah, I mean, I just remember being a kid, and like every time when I'd hit play on that VCR, and then I see that white Pegasus coming running through the clouds, and that's the introduction to TriStar Pictures, you know what I mean? I was like, this is the movie, it's coming up, and then the music's like boom, and then I hear it like the little gong going and stuff. Anyway, sorry, man, I'm like fangirling right now, big time. Sorry. Okay, cool. But yeah, anyways, I think it's phenomenal, and but it's just a good testament again to like how impactful you are on people's lives, and to this day still, for people to come up and, when we do these conventions together and stuff, which is where I first met you in 2013, and I was one of those people. I mean, I was at a con. My table was like 3 tables down from yours. And I was like, got from behind my table, and I walked up to your table like a fan and stood in line, and I was like, listen, I just want you to know. You know what I mean? And
that's what's great about those cons. Is that too bad we're having this COVID, because they stopped the cons for a while.
I know.
But you get to see so many other wonderful personalities.
Well, they're even saying on the chat that you had RPG games that use references to your character. Video games,
role-playing games, like there's.
Oh,
games...
I don't know a lot about those video games. Yeah.
Right. But there's video games out there where people can create a character that's like Bruce Leroy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah. So I mean, people are on top of it, man. Like these people in the chat, there's a lot of people can't even believe 35 years have gone by. You haven't aged a bit. So,
yeah, I know. That's the one thing about Taimak, man. He doesn't age at all.
Well, I had a really bad injury, but I'm doing better.
What happened, man? Tell us about it. If you want to let us know the injury, it's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm doing a podcast as well. I started that a couple weeks ago, and I'm about a month ago, and then I'm doing it bi-weekly. And the guy that I met's helped me a lot. I didn't know my spine was twisted. It was twisted, and I had 2 herniations. And for those who don't know much about that, it's either pain or weakness that takes place, and that's what I was dealing with. And I didn't get a full diagnosis after years of going around with everything from massage to acupuncture to other chiropractors. And doctors want you to go get surgery right away, and I'm like, no way. And then I found the guy that is really helping me. He's a Gonstead chiropractor, which is a specific technique that's highly regarded in the community.
Right.
Clarence Gonstead created the Gonstead technique
Yeah.
in the 60s and 70s. People were flying in from all over the place. Excuse me, this may be my mother.
Oh, well, we got
Hello?
yeah. If Mama Gorilla calls, we gotta like talk. We
No,
gotta
no,
say,
you got the wrong number. My mother's number.
Oh
You
my
call your
God.
son, so you got to call her.
I love this live on the air,
This is so great.
ladies and
This
gentlemen.
is
Oh,
great.
I'll call my mother. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all good.
Hold on. I'll call her. Hold on, okay?
this is
I'm
a
taking
first.
care of my mother. She's 83.
That's
man.
okay.
Hold
That's
on.
okay, brother.
That's
We
all good,
understand.
man.
Yeah.
This is
but-
COVID time, brother.
Yeah, that's okay, man. You can no problem. I mean, if you
I
want,
know
you
it's
can
okay.
even. Yeah, you can. If you want, we can even mute. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
you
a
want us-
private-
we'll
we can
mute-
you for a little
Don't worry
bit.
about it. Don't worry.
Okay. All right.
Ladies
I'm
and
gonna put it on
gentlemen.
speaker.
Oh,
Oh,
ladies
okay.
and
This is
gentlemen,
great.
live. Here we go. Calling time, mom.
Because the food's delivering,
Yeah.
So I got to make sure she gets it.
This is amazing.
Mom, there's somebody, the food guys, and he's calling me to get to you. And so call the front desk. He's waiting downstairs with your food.
What food?
I don't know. Just call the front desk, Mom.
What I got the one. Ma'am, is this 42G?
Yeah, that's my mother's her apartment number.
Ma'am, we got a delivery from
This is great.
the pantry. Pantry? Who ordered it? I didn't order anything from the pantry.
All right, sir. She didn't order anything. She didn't order anything.
I'm sorry about
It's all right, Mom. I'll call you later.
that. Okay, take it easy.
All right, love you.
Oh, bless. That's so amazing. That's so great.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's amazing. No, it's amazing. The relationship you have with your mom. I know it's great. I love it.
COVID. She's older. And,
Well, yeah, she's got to be
underlying
staying
condition.
inside and stuff. 1,000%. Yeah, no, man, that's good.
No?
You're a good son, man. You're a
Mama
good
Dragon.
son.
Mama
I don't
Dragon
know.
was on the phone.
Mama Dragon.
Mama Dragon was on the
I
phone.
don't know. Sometimes she's a pain.
Well, I don't know
But that's
everybody in our, I
Mama's,
don't
you
know
know,
if
but I
our
love her
families
death.
in our life a bit. Yeah. Well, dude, that was a first.
Yeah, that was awesome.
For someone to take a call whilst we are live, I love it. So I'm sure the fans really dug
This
that.
is my
Let's see,
mom's-
Mom, right there. Oh, look at her! What a
Oh,
gorgeous
that's awesome.
woman.
That is really
Yeah.
cool.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
her.
yeah.
That was during a heyday.
Yeah,
And then-
gorgeous.
Oh wait! I got a picture of my father. Hold on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see.
Anything could happen, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the
He was
Fantastic
like-
Duo Show.
He was Mr. Guapo.
Oh yeah, look at that!
Wow.
Dude, that is a sexy man
That's
right
Pop.
there. He's rocking the stash and everything, man. I love it.
That was the 70s, man.
Steve, if you're not
That's the
rocking hair like that, bro, I'm going to be so
First of
mad at
all,
you.
Like, the older you get, the harder it is to make your hair grow long like that. I don't know. I could never make my hair that full ever, nor could I make my mustache that full ever.
Oh, man, that's
So
amazing.
I'm just not enough of a man. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. That's
To
hilarious.
look like that, to
That's
pull
a
off
little
that.
too much information there, brother.
Taimak, I have a question for you, man. How does it feel like knowing that a lot of the cast members are passed, and
Not
we're
good. because
still
they
rolling.
worked so hard, and they were kind of kicked to the curb. But when this film was done, and nobody was given love by all these people, and it was all just a big Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
And,
Can you delve into that a little bit? Because I feel like for a while, like you were kind of like their golden boy a little bit, and then something happened, and all of a
it's
sudden,
just-
like
look,
everybody kind of got. Yeah, go ahead.
look, Hollywood is just Hollywood, man.
Of course.
Everybody, sees movies, they see TV shows. There's always the behind the scenes, right? So, I'm not gonna go into a whole long, drawn out thing about it, but we weren't treated good. We were, young, passionate, and we were taken advantage of. And
Right.
at the end of the day, we've got an amazing movie, and we've got amazing love from fans, and that's the brilliance in it. That's the wonderful thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's certainly the upside, but that doesn't like pay your bills when you're going through it as it's
Oh, you're
happening, and it
damn
doesn't,
right. You're damn
yeah, and it
right.
doesn't, you know what I mean, and it
They're
doesn't,
still
it
making
doesn't
money
give you a
off
lot
of
of
my face.
comfort back then
They're
when you
still
didn't know
making
it
money
was
off
gonna,
of my face, off the DVD. I mean, off the Blu-ray
right,
and the DVD,
yeah, I mean,
and streaming and everything.
it's the same thing for me, they're making money off my face and I get nothing from it too, so I definitely can relate to that, and at the same time, it's like, it's hard to see because you don't know how it's going to become this cult classic in the future. You know what I mean?
I know.
All you know is just kind of how you got screwed over. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but you
it's
know
a
what's
little bit.
interesting? You know what's
What's
interesting?
that?
I'll tell you what's really interesting.
Sure.
And you'll understand this, Steve, because you're doing your thing, and you're not a person that sits back and waits for people to give you,
Right.
you don't pity yourself, So what I came to do over the years is, really follow these principles that I knew that were resonating with me when I was really young, but how do you apply it in real life? And meaning when life happens,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
when it's not the cookie cut life, everything goes the way you plan. When it goes the other way, when you plan one thing and it's a complete opposite, or I wouldn't say it's the opposite. It's the stale version of what you thought it would be,
Right. Mm-hmm.
How do you respond? And that was the best. It's like the injury I had. It's the best thing ever. It's like, I'm not. There's a lot of people died during the pandemic, but at the same time, we're all going to die. So I said to myself, there's one thing in life there's only one thing that's certain in life.
Right.
That's uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Sure.
So pandemic is just giving us what was already there, because we're not guaranteed left. There is no tomorrow, anything could happen, but it's the illusion of certainty. We want to feel like we're going to live forever, but that's not the reality. The reality is there's always uncertainty. And if you live that way, if you live as if you're not given another second, and you can't whine over anything, doesn't mean that people shouldn't be held accountable. That people should be held accountable. But baby, I'm dancing and partying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've actually gotten the opportunities to hang out with you. There are times anytime I go, anytime I've gone to New York, you've always taken me some really cool spots and some really interesting places and stuff. Shown me sides of New York that I haven't seen before. Because a lot of times I go to New York and I'm basically a tourist if I'm there for a con or something. If I have any time off whatsoever, I'm doing the touristy shit unless I come to see you. You know what I mean? And then now, you're taking me to some really cool spots, good restaurants, interesting places. Bars, clubs that are really kind of cool. So I always appreciated that too, like speaking, I want to go back a little bit to when I was talking about like the influence that you have over people that you don't even realize. So we got this kid, we're going to kind of put him in the spotlight today, right now. There's a kid, his name is Jeffrey Wall. And Jeffrey Wall, he's a 15-year-old kid. He's a martial artist. He's a black belt. And this guy is phenomenal. Like, he's a phenomenal martial artist, but more importantly, he works, his martial arts studio that he runs is called the Golden Age Karate. And essentially what he does is he travels around to senior citizens homes and stuff, and he's got senior citizen class that he teaches of all like between like 70, 80, 90-year-old people, and they are fully into the martial arts, and he is their instructor and he is teaching them full time. And anyway, it's pretty amazing what he does. And actually, I think he's actually going to be featured pretty soon on the Kelly Clarkson show, telling his story. So, we wanted to give him a shout out and just tell him that how cool we think that is. But more importantly, he told me today, he was like, I'm so excited. Like, he goes, I wasn't even like following you guys on Twitch or anything, but I am watching the Twitch show today because I love Taimak. I love The Last Dragon. So even kids that are 15 years old, they love this. And I think maybe like we'll probably put a picture up of him. I know you can't see it, Taimak.
Yeah, sure.
We'll make sure we send you a picture of it. But anyways, I'm thinking, I was thinking because I want to talk to you about your podcast, and I was seeing if maybe this might be a good kid to have on your show as a guest
Yeah, yeah,
sometime.
of
You know what I
course,
mean?
of course, of course.
Because you know, he's such a, he first of all, he's a huge admirer of you,
All right, let's
and
make
to
it
be able to
happen.
him tell his story, you know what I mean? Like, I think it would really
He
resonate with our
sounds very
fans and stuff.
unique. He sounds very unique.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty good kid. So we're very excited for him and for his success that he's got going right now. And you know, for a while with COVID, he had to shut that down because he could, you know, they had to kind of lock down all of the older people. But now
Yeah.
he's starting to be able to get kind of, you know, go back and start teaching them again and stuff. And everybody's excited. So everyone from the Golden Age Karate is actually watching our Twitch show right now. They're very excited
Shout out
about
to you guys.
the two of us being on there. Shout out to Jeffrey Wall and Golden Age Karate. And we're going to send you guys an autographed picture for the dojo. And I'll make sure I get Jeffrey, if you're listening, I'll make sure I get you in touch with Taimak so you guys can talk about doing the podcast as well too, so we can get you on there. Anyways,
Yeah, we
thank you,
make that happen.
yeah, thank you, Taimak, for that. That's really special because he definitely, you know, could not stop talking about you today and just telling me how much he loved and respected you and loved your movie and everything like that. So that would be dope.
Yeah, thanks for the connection, Steve, Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
doubt.
But I mean, like it's just like I said before, you know, it's just such a testament. Like,
yeah, I know.
you're just
It's
reaching
amazing.
people that you never even thought that you would. You know what I mean? Like, to have that kind of influence and impact, you know,
In the
and-
younger community at that, you know,
Yeah,
and
well-
another thing is you have
Well, it's a movie that does that, right?
Yes,
It goes
yes.
crosses age, race, everything. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, it's incredible, yeah. So I just thought that was cool, and I think Alex was touching on it before, but we didn't really talk about it too much. So you've got this amazing cast that was in the show because we had Vanity in there and the other guys, and I know Alex, you know, was always saying like, oh, it seems kind of sad.
What were you saying, Alex?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you know, Shogun and everyone else that kind of, you know, that has been away now from the movie, right? Like all these people that did not get to see the massive success. I know you've mentioned
Yeah,
a little
they
bit
passed
about
away.
Yeah,
they passed away. You mentioned how it was kind of sad that, you know, they didn't get to see the massive success, basically, right? That has become
Yeah, I kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
more of the cult classic.
More of the
that
cult
it's
classic.
become,
'Cause you're talking
and
about
and the people that are coming to the cons to see you now and that kind of stuff. These are the kind
Yeah,
of things that I feel
I called
unfortunate they didn't
Julius.
get to experience. You know,
Yeah, I called Julius. I spoke to, Vanity. Yeah, it was just not the time.
right?
Vanity was in religion at that time, and she was one of those. She got kind of really diehard, and it was kind of it's hard to
Yeah.
And then Julius was a little uptight with how he was being treated in Hollywoods, and he didn't
Right.
quite get the con thing because at the time I spoke to him,
Right.
it didn't have the appeal it has now, so it just wasn't the right time.
Right. And then all of a sudden, like just so suddenly,
Yeah.
they're all
Yes.
passed away. So
The younger brother, yeah.
out of the
Richie,
four
yeah.
main cast members, which is yourself, and there was Richie, and there was Shonuff, and then there was Vanity, and
Eddie
and,
Arcadian's still around. I spoke
yeah,
to him.
Eddie Arcadian is still around.
And the Chinese guys.
Yeah, Johnny. Is it Johnny Yu, right?
He's in California, and the other guys, the three Chinese guys, they're
Right.
one of them is teaching acting in Hong Kong, and the other
Right.
two are in New York over here.
Well, yeah.
Henry
the
and
other
Mike.
one was Ernie Reyes Jr., the little
Yeah,
kid. that
Ernie
was,
Reyes,
He's like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
who ended up being one of the Ninja Turtles and all that stuff like that, and then been in a lot of, he's had a lot of success in the film industry too. But yeah, I mean, I was saddened, and I actually heard all these stories from you about how these guys passed. I hadn't even realized,
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine, like, because they were the four main characters: your brother, yourself, and then of course Shonuff and Vanity.
Yeah.
Vanity, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
for them not to be there anyway. So I just
I do have a question, Steve, if you don't mind me asking.
Sure,
man.
please.
If because we're getting a lot of this now in the chat, if there was a really good script put together for a
Everybody
Last
asks
Dragon,
the same question.
are you
It's
willing?
been 35 years. You think I haven't heard that a million times?
I'm pretty
If
sure, yeah.
it's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's some people who are right now trying to make something happen.
Wow.
We'll see.
Dude, man.
We'll see. This has been 35 years, man.
Right. Well,
Everybody has that same question for 35 years.
Well, the good thing now is that these people
I'm not
that were,
saying
Yeah.
saying it's not going to happen. I'm just
Sure.
saying that when it happens, everybody's obviously going to know it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the good thing too about it is that you know, all the people that we influenced younger now, they're older now, and they do have power, and they do have, you know, control and money and the ability to make things like this happen. So I could really see that happening, you know.
Yeah,
Look,
the,
you know, guys, it's like, you know, it's really everybody wants, you know, you want something, everybody wants things, you know, but there's a reason for everything. So that's one of the things when you, you know, it's like everybody could say to you, well, why? And they have, why aren't they making enough? Why this? I said, look, man, it's not that I don't want that to happen. Of course, it'd be great. But in the meantime, I'm having a great life.
Right.
And when it happens, it happens, you know?
Right.
There are reasons why things don't happen. I mean,
Sure.
but I know this is a very strange thing that it hasn't happened.
Yeah,
But
it is
you know,
unique.
yeah, I mean, because it's got such a strong appeal. It's like there's no Rocky
Yeah.
after Rocky 1. You know?
Right.
right, and that's what I was gonna say. Let's not remake what's already done.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
Yeah. Let's kind of like move on forward, but with you, you know, like or whatever the case may be.
I mean, tell you the truth, it's like it's that people have done remakes so bad, you know. It's like
Right.
that's the reason why people don't like remakes. I mean, I'm not saying that a remake would be horrible. I'm just saying the way they usually do remakes is bad. Why is it bad? Because they go, okay, let's get a black kid and a black this, and let's do that. It's so ignorant, you know. They wouldn't say, let's find a guy that's unknown. They're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Let's find an unknown that like Taimak that was from the street and had
Yeah.
a story in his life. No, let's get a celebrity or some rapper. You know, it's like, give me a break, man. You know, just
Yeah.
because they have stardom, they deserve it. I didn't have stardom when I did The Last Dragon.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna do another Last Dragon or a sequel or remake, have a young guy that is nobody. Give somebody a shot.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like, you know, and I feel like they definitely shouldn't do a remake because you can't.
Yes,
you
right.
can't remake what is like.
You can't.
It's too ingrained in our nostalgia. All we're gonna
right.
do is be pissed off. But a continuation story,
you're right,
a continuation story is where it needs to go. You know what I mean?
No,
like
you're right.
some kind of like a story where you're you, but it's like, you know, years later, and somehow, you know, you are the master. You know, and the teacher. You know, and like that's how it needs to be.
Look, it needs to be something that's going to be fun. Trust me, there's people trying to do that right now. We'll see what happens.
I hope so,
Well,
man.
I for one
needs to be
cannot
fun.
wait.
It needs to be action. It needs to have some wisdom in there.
Right.
You know, I got some wisdom for you. You know, real power is when you know you have no power.
Ooh. That was good. That was good. I mean, you're dropping wisdom today, bro.
She goes, yeah. She goes, what's he just?
No, but how do you get the power? That's what I want to know.
You know, I just told you, son.
I know. He always drops the wisdom on me, and it's the wisdom that's like you don't want to hear because it's like, oh, that means I gotta actually do the work. I gotta do work. When is shit gonna happen to me?
Well, guess what?
It happen.
Guess the other one.
When is shit gonna happen for me?
The other thing is that, you know, we're always emotionally addicted to tomorrow.
Oh,
but there is no tomorrow.
See, you guys, this is why he's the master, right? This is why he's the master. He's dropping his knowledge. The glow is flowing through his words right now.
The glow is literally flowing.
I'll
literally.
give you another one.
Okay, let's hear it. Come on.
Your eyeball? You know your eyeball?
Yes.
Eyeball? You know, it has no lens. It's translucent, the eyeball.
Right.
You know? Yet we see people hung up on color, right?
Oh.
And everybody uses, see, the whole thing, Black Lives Matter, and then these people, all lives matter, all this stuff, right? All that stuff, right, is all inauthentic. It's all given by and a result of people that are afraid of power. They're afraid of real power, which is the creation, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
Everybody's afraid. Nobody is really being who they really should be, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong. People could be whoever they want to be, but at least don't lie about it. You know? Like people are, you know, they're, you know, so it's like the eyeball is translucent. It's designed a certain way to see all spectrums of colors.
Yeah.
And the real eyeball Well, let's say the spiritual eyeball is the pineal gland, which is in the brain. And my friend's daughter reads without her eyes. She
Right.
sees with a blindfold.
She's blind, right?
She could see through a wall. Okay, and it's because children under the age of 12, it's much easier to activate your pineal gland. The pineal gland has similar qualities to the actual eyeball to eyeball. And the problem is that people's eyeballs that they think are giving them their life is pointing outward when it should be pointed inward. You see?
Yeah.
Wow. Dropping. I mean,
Dude,
people are loving
dude,
this
it's
on
like-
the
it's
chat
like-
right now,
Well,
man.
the reason why they're
Jesus.
pointing outward is so they don't have to look at themselves and they
Well,
can blame everybody else. And that therein lies a vicious cycle that continues
100%.
to play out an inauthentic thing.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
no.
we can be very powerful, but we don't choose that. We choose to be like everybody else. And there is no tomorrow. We're just going to keep recycling today the same thing.
Wow.
Book that movie. We're gonna put Steve in it, and we're gonna drop absolutely all of this.
Yeah, but see, this is the movie. This is
Yeah.
the movie.
Right,
We're
real
just
life.
actors
Yeah.
on a stage anyway.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's
And he
like
could-
Shakespeare
If you
said.
really got that, and there is no tomorrow, then people will be present.
Yes.
You just
Yeah.
mentioned the kid,
Whoa,
right?
Exactly.
The Karate Academy. See, people aren't present to that power. This kid is teaching old people, right?
Right.
So the
People
story,
that society
the
think
story
wouldn't even
is
be able to do it anyway. Yeah.
The story is he's teaching them because they're teaching him something.
Oh yes.
Sure.
Listen, they've lived to
Yeah.
old enough to be his great grandfather or great grandmother more, right?
Yeah.
So they can drop some knowledge on him that his mother and father can't.
That's crazy. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And people are
Yeah.
like, people are really enjoying it, man. Thank you for
Well, see,
dropping absolutely
this is why I
everything
like,
on us.
This is why I
Jeez.
like Taimak, you know what I mean? Because it's like, even like every time that we get together, even if we're not doing a podcast like this is how this man talks to me. You know what I mean? He's always dropping knowledge. And sometimes if the knowledge he drops to me, it's like hard to hear. You know what I mean? It's hard to hear because it's like, because he does reflect a light on you that you're not seeing in yourself. You know what I mean? So when I'm feeling like down on myself or anyway, or I feel like the world is screwing me around in some way or something, he always finds a way to turn it back on me. You know what I mean? And he's like, look, a lot of it's what your perception is, and that's what's holding you back. And these are the things that are tough to swallow. You know what I mean? When you have that mirror held up to you, but Taimak is very good at that. And so it's like medicine. It tastes like crap when you're taking it, but it makes you feel a lot better. You know what I mean?
They're not tough to follow when you let go of the power.
Sure.
Well, and all of this.
If you realize you have more power when you let go of power and control, then when you really realize that, when you really follow it instead of lead,
yeah,
those are words.
then you're gonna find power.
Those are words that should be written down somewhere, right? And not only used for wisdom.
It's written down. Every word has been written. Everything has been said. It's nothing new, my friend.
Nice.
Well, there's no question about that. I mean, these are all things that if we think
new,
about
it
it,
came out of my mouth.
yeah, if we think about it, these are all things that we, in some form or another, haven't already heard before. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just a rehashing. Yeah, it's new in the moment. It's new. Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that is that sometimes you're hearing this stuff, but you're not ready to listen to it at the time when it's being told to you. You know what I mean? And
Well, because of what I told you, it's because people are thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they realize there isn't a tomorrow, they would be present today. If I told you, Steve, I'm gonna die in about 10 seconds, okay?
Yeah.
Everything would get real present.
Oh yeah. I mean, I tried to make the most out of that last 10 seconds.
Oh my God.
Feel the glow. Let's get out of here.
Feel the glow.
Ba-da-da-da-ba.
I'm out. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, right? It's
true.
like,
I mean,
wow, we're gonna have a great time,
rather
than whine about this or that.
Well, you're right. You're right. It's hard though, as humans, to in the face of uncertainty, and it's always. It's always hard for us to be in the moment that we're already in, because we're always worried about what's going to happen later and what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, but it's inauthentic, is what I'm saying. It's inauthentic.
Yeah, well,
There's
I don't
something
disagree
later.
with
It's
you at all.
inauthentic. There is no later.
People are saying that we should have the Glow song in the background while he's saying all these words. Just
Well, I'll
feel
tell
the
you what,
glow.
right now, like if we could, if we had like rights, we would have been
Oh
playing
my
that song
God.
as an introduction when we introduced Taimak. But you know, Twitch will not allow us to play music that doesn't belong to
Play Nasty Girls.
And of course, all of this,
Hey, children, get away.
all this
She's
wisdom,
talking about 7 inches. She's talking about something else.
all of this wisdom comes with obviously time, and you know, you just celebrated a birthday. Am I right?
You know, it's funny. It doesn't come with time. It comes with desire.
Oh,
Because it's all right here, right here. There's no such thing as time. Man. It's just
until
a
you
theory.
have a desire to like take it in, because sometimes I don't want to hear knowledge and it takes a while.
You know what? You want me to get really deep? Really deep?
God, here we go.
You want to
Hold
really
on, let me record this. You
want to get the real stuff that even the intellectuals don't even get? It's all a mathematical equation.
oh,
Your brain is just holding pictures and stories, and that's what's rehashing. Everything you see is not really here.
Right.
It's only
It is
you.
an image in your mind that perceives
It's
it.
the image that has a story, and we believe this story is true.
Right.
wow.
So, you know, you see me on it's like this. You got the mic and the TV and the camera, right?
Yeah.
But we believe this is true. This is just some reality, right? Just like we can't see the light streams coming from a light. We can hear sound, but we can't see those sound waves and gravity. There is so many millions of dimensions in this reality that are right here, right with us, that we can see right now, but we're choosing to play small. Brother, let's get real.
Yeah. Wow. Guys, he's always so deep, man. He's always so deep.
It's all illusion. But I have fun with it though.
No, I know,
I'm
but
doing renovation in my house, right?
right.
And I'm seeing how the universe is working with me, right? Because I know that I'm not a professional, right?
Right.
And sometimes I don't have a professional, because I can put that shelf up. I can do this and that. But I know that I'm going to take 5 hours where a professional will take like 10 minutes. You know?
Right.
So I talk to myself, you know, I'm like, okay, what's going to happen today? And it's a lesson the universe always gives me. Okay.
Right.
I'll give you one case in point. I'm putting in a glass shelf in my bathroom, and I never did it before. And you know, those little tricky ones where they have little clips and you have to go under, and the little, you know, those ones, it'll fall right out and break. Well, I'm doing step by step, and it's coming on okay, but I know something's going to happen eventually. Well, it did. I went, and the little tiny screw that keeps it together fell somewhere, right? So I'm looking for it, and I go, okay, I'm going to find it. And I find it. But guess what? When I opened the second one, right, for some strange reason, it didn't come in the box. Okay?
Okay.
It was not there. I go, okay, I can see me dropping that and finding it, that being a success. But universe, you didn't even put the screw in the box. How am I supposed to find that? And then something told me, Ty, hey, it's all illusion. You created it, create another screw, right? So I don't have that tiny screw. So I go, I don't have that tiny screw. I got these other screws. I have the long ones, you know, So I go in the kitchen, I get out the toolbox, and I know I'm going to have it in there. But before that, I know I throw a bunch of loose screws in a drawer with its silverware, right? I opened up, and guess who was looking me right in the face?
Oh.
The screw, the same size screw.
Exactly.
What? It was? Oh, okay.
And I went, ta-da! And that's how the universe works.
That's amazing.
When you know it's true, it will occur as true, and it will happen. It's the fact that you doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
You see? See, the whole thing about here we are, you know, and all this politics and all this stuff, you know, it's all inauthentic.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree with you there. You know what I mean? Like,
we're all looking for a savior.
Right. I mean, I think we can all agree that there are definitely changes that need to be made, but sometimes the things that people do to try to spur those changes are not necessarily.
Well, nobody's honest. Nobody's honest.
Right.
Everybody's got good and bad in them, and they all act like they got good, and they're all like, you know. But it's okay. Everything's gonna be all right. It always does. You chop you cut your hand open, it heals itself. You know, you got a spine. Where's that power coming from? All those nerve. We're gonna be okay. It's not, you know. But I'm just saying.
Now, Ty, do you let's before we end here in the next couple minutes, Tell us a little bit about your podcast. Is this some of the stuff that you talk about, like people who you bring in? Like what's
I brought in some crazy guy the other day, but he's cool. He teaches. He brought what do you call
Well, first off,
CrossFit. Okay.
tell us what your tell us the name of your podcast so people.
Yeah, it's called Taimak The Last Dragon.
Taimak The Last Dragon.
I'll send you the link.
Right,
I do it bi-weekly. I just started it, so.
Right. Okay. But can you tell us like what times people can find it? Because
on
like
weekends, I do it every Saturday, every other Saturday.
Every other Saturday.
On my Instagram, I post it on my Instagram all the time.
Is it Instagram Live? How do people?
No, I do it off of Anchor that shoots out.
To Anchor, got it. Okay,
and
cool.
all the rest of them.
Perfect.
Yeah,
because what happened was it just was a whim, and I said, you know what? Everybody's got a podcast, and I got stuff to say and I know there's fans out there would like to hear something. Yeah. And my first one was my birthday, and I was in lockdown, and I was alone, and I said, okay, I'm gonna say myself happy birthday and just shoot the shit. But it was really like I don't know. I was fine, like it wasn't a normal birthday. So I said, okay, well, at least I'm answering fans' questions for the first podcast. Right. The second one was when I interviewed the guy, and that was the only. I only did two. And the guy does CrossFit. He has a very interesting outlook on life. He's very out there and outrageous. He got a lot of followers on Instagram. And I want to interview Steve. I want to the kid that you would be good. The kid.
Yeah,
there's plenty of people. It's interesting. People are very interesting when they're very interesting.
Yeah, when you get a chance to hear a bit of their story, most definitely. So yeah, I think that's great, buddy. I think that's great you're doing that, and we want to be able to support it. So that's why I was saying. So you say it's bi-monthly because you said it's every other Saturday.
So it's every 2 weeks. It's not this Saturday. It'll be the following.
Right. Because it's funny. It's funny because when you say bi-weekly, that can mean both. It can mean 2 times a week, and it can also mean 2 times a month, which is very funny if you really think about it. But yeah, okay, so it is every other Saturday then is when so you do it twice a month.
That's awesome.
Got it.
That's
okay,
awesome.
cool. Very good.
And it's Taimak the last.
So it's Taimak the Last Dragon. So make sure, guys, everybody that's listening right now, make sure that you go to Anchor and or wherever you download your podcast, search for Taimak the Last Dragon, and let's start supporting that. Let's start getting that some momentum as well too, because this guy, as you know, look at the nuggets of wisdom that the dude is just dropping right now for everybody.
I just did spew some of it out to make.
I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. See, these are the things I always get to hear from you all the time, but the fans didn't get to hear it yet. So this is why we do these things. This is why we have these platforms in the first place. So man, we're
because we can the complaining about I've heard 35 years the complaining that there's not this other movie.
Right.
And then that's why I was like, well, why are we even complaining? And then I realized that we're not being our full power.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, when the universe is ready, it will happen, and when it does, we're going to be the first ones in line. Yeah. We're losing him for a second. I think we lost.
Always there.
No, there he is.
We lost you for a second. Oh, there you are.
There he is. Yep. Yeah, he's back.
We lost you for a second.
No, I said it's when we're ready. I said the universe is always ready. It's when we're ready. It's like, it's like when your black belt coach will say to you, he'll say, "Oh no, you're ready."
Yeah.
Say, come on. It's when you make up your mind.
Right. Exactly.
It'll happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So can you tell everybody, besides the podcast, where else can everybody follow you? Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff like that?
Yeah, it's funny because I do Facebook just to reach out, but I really only like going on Instagram.
Okay, so so Instagram is the best place for people to follow you and keep up with you.
Yeah.
I am Taimak. Okay, good. So that's TAIMAK, guys. I am Taimak. Taimak. Yeah. So make sure everybody follows him as well there too. And man, this time flew by so fast. There were so many things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about our Brazilian jiu-jitsu and what we have for that, because you train with Marcelo Garcia over there in New York, and he's a phenomenal jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, we didn't get to talk about any of that stuff. So, dude, please, we gotta have you back on again. I know you do a lot of interviews, and I know you say the same answers over and over and over again. But
this was good. It was good. It was good. You're a friend. You're a friend, Steve. Nice meeting you, Alex. and much success to you guys. And
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
You're in Texas right now, Steve?
Yeah, I'm in Texas.
You're
Yeah,
going
at
to
the
move
moment.
to UK, right?
Yeah, I'm moving to the UK. I didn't announce anybody that yet, but
Oh.
the cat's out of the bag now. Yeah, yeah. So I am actually moving to the UK. Everybody, you're hearing it here for the very first time right now. Within the next 5 weeks or so, I'll be.
I had
He's
no
going to
idea.
be coming back talking like this, mate. Hey, listen.
Coming back with a
let's
Cockney
get a
accent, right? Cockney accent,
a little beer. You want to go to the pub,
right?
get some drinky dinkies.
Yeah. Well, hey, brother, I
Cheerio,
love you
chap.
as much, man. I love you so much, man. You've been a really good friend to
Love
me
you
for the
too,
past 7 years that I've known you, man. And I thank you for taking the time to come on, man, and really appreciate that. And, again, we as fans, we thank you for the way that you touched our lives as well, too. So this was awesome. And I'm finally glad we were able to do this. And like I said, guys, everybody follow him. And Alex, I don't know if there's anything you want to say before we go. Actually, we do.
Alex, man, you talk too much.
We do.
I'm
we do have an
sorry.
We do have one announcement. I know we're running over a little bit now because of this, but we have an announcement. We do have our grand prize winner. So do you have that name? Can we?
I do. He was here earlier. He left already,
He
unfortunately.
left already,
But,
so he's gonna be in for a surprise. Then.
he's gonna be in for a surprise. His username is a little weird, guys. So just bear with me. It's
okay.
It's I issue death. That's the name.
I
of it.
issue death.
Oh my
Okay.
God, he had a,
That's the name.
let's hope. Let's get a second person just in case. Man.
I use a randomizer. I threw all of our subs in there, and that's who came up. So
Okay.
his
Well,
name is
congratulations to
Angel.
I Issue Death.
Let's call him Angel, since that's his
Okay.
first name. Angel.
Okay.
I'll be contacting you personally via Instagram and getting you all this
Yeah.
amazing package out to you.
Big congrats to Angel. Big thank you to Time Walk, everybody. And as we say always, may the power protect you, and let's stay safe out there, guys. On behalf of myself and my co-host Alex Cardoza, thank you guys for joining the Fantastic Duo Show. Have a great night. Thank you.